Hello, it's Mike Young here from Decision Workshops. It's the 16th of September and we're going to be looking at the two remaining problems in Syria. The trust dilemmas and what we're going to do about the Free Syrian Army. Firstly, the Free Syrian Army. The Free Syrian Army has rejected the proposal between Russia and the USA to disarm Assad's chemicals. So what it's saying is, I don't care if Assad gets rid of its chemical weapons. It's not insisting that they do it. It's also not, of course, insisting that they don't do it. So it says, I don't care. Because what's really motivating the Free Syrian Army is that it wants the USA to actually fight on its side and attack Syria. So it's the one with a dilemma, this persuasion dilemma. What's it going to do? Have a look at this. Press pause if you want to read it in more detail. But these will tell you what the Free Syrian Army has to do. It's still active. It's still got dilemmas. So what is the FSA's position? Well, this is what they said.
The head of a Western-backed rebel council has spelled out his group's rejection of Russia's plan for chemical weapons in Syria. We announce our definitive rejection of the Russian initiative to place chemical weapons under international custody, he said in this video message, and continued, we ask that the international community not be content with withdrawing chemical weapons, which are a criminal instrument, but to hold the perpetrator accountable and prosecute him at the International Criminal Court.
So what they were saying was, I want Assad to surrender and go to The Hague. Ask Assad if he's going to do that. No. And Assad in the future is not going to do it. Doesn't want to and is not threatening to. The USA haven't mentioned this or talked about it, so that counts as a dash. Same with the Russians. So again, the FSA have just put more demands in. They haven't tried to solve their dilemmas. So expect more from the FSA. We also have to look at the distrust and suspicion. Assad thinks that the USA, although it's saying it's not going to attack if they have the chemical weapons treaty, might attack anyway. It's frightened that the USA might attack, so it's got a trust dilemma. Similarly, the USA has a trust dilemma on Assad. It doesn't know it's really going to get rid of his weapons as soon as possible. So there we have multiple trust dilemmas. But if you've got a trust dilemma, you also have these cooperation dilemmas. The USA has to prove to Assad that it's serious in not attacking. And Assad has to prove to the USA he's serious when he wants to get rid of his chemical weapons. That's what the talks are about. So, an action the US has considered taking is to draw up another UN resolution to attack if Assad does not comply. So the US will be attacking Syria with a UN resolution. But Syria is already scared that it's going to attack without a resolution anyway. So this was an attempt to prove to Assad that they were serious, but they didn't have to prove that. And what the Russians said was, hey, we don't approve of that, and we're going to veto your resolution. So if you try to do it, we don't think you're going to be able to. So that question mark means that Russia doesn't think they're going to be able to. Assad doesn't want that to happen, but he also thinks that because the Russians will veto it, the US won't be able to do that. So this resolution isn't really getting anywhere. The Americans are generating a dilemma for themselves, a threat dilemma, because Assad and the Russians just don't believe that they're able to. Press pause if you want to read that in more detail. So what we hope is going to happen is that these doubts and distrusts will disappear with the diplomacy, and as a result, the dilemmas will disappear. So things are looking good. Expect the FSA to be the next player to make a move, because they're the ones who've still got these dilemmas. Another thing that the US is saying is, can we have another resolution to attack Assad if he doesn't comply, if he doesn't get rid of all his chemical weapons. Then we will attack. That will help make sure that Assad does actually do that. That will help get rid of this doubt we have if we don't have UN legitimacy. But the Russians have said, hey, there's still a doubt here. Lots of people think that you're going to attack anyway. And a UN resolution might give you an excuse to attack. If you find some reason why Assad isn't meeting every letter of the disarmament law, then you'll pull out this UN resolution and use it to attack. Although we don't want you to do it. And Assad says we don't want you to do it either. The FSA doesn't care. And the USA says, well, we'll do this, but the Russians know that they can veto it. So this is a threat that is not believable, because the US won't be able to get this resolution. Russia's going to oppose, because it will strengthen this distrust. Let's hope that the diplomacy means that these distrusts disappear. And as they do, the dilemmas disappear, apart from those with the FSA. So that's what we can see for the future. Expect the next move to be by the FSA.